Hello and welcome to Liberty Asia's tutorial video on risk factors and how to designate them in the VCMS. I'm going to start the video today on one of our test case forms. This is going to be the case record for Pru test here. And I'm going to find the risk section of the VCMS on the case form if I scroll down to the lower half of the page, past this case map. This is one of our case management tools. You may have watched the case management tool introductory video. I'm going to find risk factors here, the second one down from the map. To input a new risk in the system, and a risk factor is anything that is perhaps a vulnerability or a critical point to note in the system for all social workers. So I want to have a very quick visual representation of this important information on the case page. So to input a new one on this case page, I simply go New Risks. And then this brings me to the case page. So I'm going to start here by selecting the larger sort of umbrella risk type. So for instance, let's say that I would like to designate on this person. This person is presenting perhaps with a certain addiction, and I want to make a quick note of this. So I'm going to select the risk type as addiction, the subtype as either alcohol, drugs, or others. I'm going to say perhaps this, actually, let's make it alcohol here. I can also give it a very specific name. So if it's a perhaps type of alcohol or a situation in which this the alcohol addiction is most presented, I can go ahead and name that here. For this one, for alcohol, I don't think that's so much needed, so I'm just going to say excessive drinking. I can denote who this risk factor is first identified by. So perhaps it was identified by the client's family. The risk period here, this is simply denoting whether or not this risk factor is still a risk. So is it presenting itself in the future, in the present? Am I thinking this is possibly going to be a risk factor or a vulnerability factor in the future? Or is this something that the client has already dealt with in the past and I just want to make note of this for my own service provision notes? We can go ahead and say for this one, perhaps it's still occurring in the present. I can give it a rating. Maybe this isn't critical, but it is a high risk. In the awareness of the risk, I can say whether or not the client actually acknowledges that this behavior is a risk factor. So maybe in this case, the client doesn't really acknowledge. He thinks their drinking is fine. I can add any notes here in the awareness details. I can again make notes here of the impact of the risk. So how is this risk presenting in the client's daily life and either impacting his or her day-to-day activities or relationships, perhaps even the NGO's service, the care that they're providing. And then also here, there's just a large note section for any ongoing notes that may be needed. To submit this risk factor, I simply hit save. And then I'm going to want to navigate back to the case page. So again, I can find this case field here and I click that. And now when I scroll down again to the risk section, I'll see that that risk is added. Okay, thank you very much.